The primary purpose of any movie or show is to provide entertainment, and that's it. Everything else comes after. That's how I'm gonna judge this show. So is Tulsa King Season 3 entertaining? Is it a fun season? In short, yes. Is it a good season? Again, in short, yes. I would say it was better than Season 2 for me. There's a lot of good and enjoyable stuff, but a lot of bad writing. And that's what the issue is. Let's get to it. And a fair warning, spoilers ahead. If you don't want spoilers, you can stop watching now. Otherwise, let's continue. A big point that makes any show or movie great is constant conflicts. And this show offers a lot of that, even for the side characters, which is crucial to any show, like I said, and it works really well here. For example, like Dunmire showing up to the party, Agent sealing the distillery, Deacon's double cross, and the list goes on and on. You know it. Another good thing the season does is asking questions. Like, how does Musa know what Dwight is doing? How are they gonna keep the $150 million bourbon from Dunmire? How are they gonna distribute and sell while everything is already in Dunmire's pocket? The show throws constant questions at you regardless of the stakes, as it keeps us engaged. Let's start with the story first. The first episode works great as an introduction. We get Musa, the FBI agent, who has a personal grudge against Dwight because Dwight killed his informant before he went to jail, which was 25 years ago. Musa also has leverage on him for his crimes, and he knows about all his activities. Musa lets him go while telling him that he should be ready for a job as a favor for letting him go and not hurting his family. Dwight doesn't have options, so he has to agree. Meanwhile, Mitch meets Cleo, Theo's daughter, whose dad is being forced to sell his bourbon business to our new enemy, Jeremiah Dunmire. Cleo helps her father and Dwight meet. Dwight offers to buy Theo's business for twice what Dunmire's offering and offers protection. Theo agrees. Dunmire finds about this deal and sends people to kill Theo and burn him along with his mansion. All good stuff so far, right? A pretty straightforward episode showing the main characters and the stakes without wasting time. Good shit. But there's a problem. Dwight makes a deal with Theo. He agrees that he will protect him from Dunmire, and then does absolutely nothing. Theo gets killed literally in the first episode, and Dwight didn't even try. That's just blatant bad writing, man. I'll be going over big issues like that. But the show does a great job providing constant conflicts, as I said. Every few scenes, there's another problem that the crew has to handle, which keeps the tension high. So moving on. Clear shows the hidden storage of the old bourbon. Estimated value about $150 million. So they repair the distillery and start distributing and selling. The same situation occurs at the distributor when Dwight forces the distributor to sell his bourbon, the Montague. The distributor gets his ass beaten by Dunmire. But anyways, Bill also gets a deal in, and New York learns about this new business. But here's another issue. New York doesn't do much throughout the season though. They talk on the phone and call one meeting until like episode 8. It's not like season 1 where they're constantly poking into Dwight's business. They could have done it so much better. Something like this. New York could learn about the business in episode 7, let's say, and immediately starts poking around, trying to kill Dwight. Stakes would be much higher. But instead, all New York is good for is just to introduce a new character, and that's it. More on that later. Well, moving on, since Dwight knows that Dunmire will cause problems again, he orders his crew to lay low. Immediately after, Tyson, being as smart as he is, plans to follow Cole to keep an eye on him. But Dunmire's son, Cole, which is a very interesting character, to say the least, and later on, Cole and his people attempt to intimidate Mitch and fail because Mitch wins the fight with the help of Cleo. Another example of bad writing is that Cleo knows that Dunmire's people sent to kill them. But the next day she drives around his lawn because she's drunk and wants revenge. Like, come on, dude. And cherry on top, Dunmire doesn't try to kill or hurt them when they're right in front of their house. The same dude who sent people last night to kill Mitch is doing nothing. It feels like a forced scene to make Cleo look cool and brave when she's drunk. If you remove that scene, nothing changes. Both characters are mostly absent after episode 2 anyways. And I absolutely hate when a show or a movie shows something that adds nothing to the story. This season has a bunch of those moments. Some are tiny and ignorable, some are not, and I'll mention a few while going into detail with the bigger scenes. Another issue here is Dwight tells his crew to be cautious because he's a loose cannon, right? But then Tyson decides to follow Cole and show how capable he is. Which would be fine, except they follow Cole into a warehouse. In the warehouse, there are old people playing bingo. They realize that it's rigged, so they sit there and start playing with them. So Goody, who's the second leader, doesn't stop and goes along with Tyson. As they knew it was rigged, they swap their card with the winning card and win some money and leave while Cole is pissed and knows that they were here. Tell me, in what world this was a good thing to do? Dwight says lay low, and this is what they do. And since we are already at this topic, let's talk about the worst character writing in the whole season. Tyson. Tyson is a very weak link. There are usually two reasons for a character to be written like this. Either the writers want us to feel annoyed and frustrated, and if that's the goal, it's working. Or it's just lazy writing, and I'm sure it's the latter. You know why? Because if it was good writing, his mistakes would have real consequences to drive the character development. And they don't. Let me explain. I like Jay Will's acting, who plays Tyson, but the Tyson's character hits new low points and no one likes him. No one. We know he wants validation from Dwight, which is fine. He even dresses like him to show he's a gangster. After winning from the bingo, they celebrate at the strip club. A girl takes Tyson to a private room and within seconds, he gives in, turns his brain off, and gets trapped by Dunmire's guys, who put both of them at gunpoint. They force him to either give up the bourbon stash location or they kill the stripper. He chooses to save the stripper's life, someone he just met and has no relation to. The guy who wanted to be a gangster. Are you kidding me, dude? He looks up to Dwight, and not only he gives up the location of the hundreds of millions of dollars, he also risks getting everyone killed by a surprise or something. A better arc would have been Dunmire setting traps at the stash location so someone gets killed or at least kidnapped. Then Tyson would have real guilt and development. Instead, everyone brushes it off like it was nothing. Oh, Dunmire stole our bourbon? Oh no, it's okay. You only gave up $150 million, we only gave up the thing we're fighting, but it's okay. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? So, next episode, Tyson and his dad follows the stripper to the rail yard where the bourbon is, conveniently. Sneak up on Cole, capture him, Dunmire notice. They trade Dunmire's son for the liquor, and just like that, they get everything back. Amazing, right? Zero repercussions. Later, Musa takes Dwight on a drive to Texas to meet and do business with a guy named Deacon, a criminal. Musa wants to catch and get info from him. Meanwhile, Carl Thresher, the bad guy from the last season, is running for governor, and Margaret is helping his campaign so they can use his power, Dwight being the wary of the deal. After they get their bourbon back, they throw a party to officially launch it, which Dunmire crashes, obviously. He brings along the Attorney General and orchestrates a surprise health inspection. During the inspection, Bigfoot pushes a barrel that falls on the inspector, instantly killing him, which they later cover up. By Dunmire's order and with Attorney General's power, they put the state seal on the distillery to shut it down temporarily. Later, Deacon comes to their bar to talk to Dwight about their deal, and Bill's guy noticed that. That night, Bill confronts Dwight about his suspicious behavior, also fueled by Quiet Ray, and the argument escalates. Bill leaves and on his way back gets arrested by police officers under Muso's orders. Later, Dwight travels to Arkansas to meet Quiet Ray, who demands 80% cut of the business for doing nothing.
I want 80%.
Stupid, right? Meanwhile, Cole is following Dwight after they put a tracker on his car and start shooting at him in a restaurant. Everyone is unharmed, but Ray thinks that the attack was on him, by Dwight. Which is just absurd, and New York's subplot is way too boring now. And I think it's time to cut it off, no one cares about them anyways. Next, they go after the Attorney General, A.G. Sackrider. What a name, right? Sackrider. With Margaret's help, they arrange for Sackrider to meet Thresher at the casino. Knowing Sack has a gambling problem, Dwight's crew manipulates the game, so Zack loses hundreds of $1,000s and becomes indebted. Dwight lets him know that he owns the casino and offers a deal. Lift the seal from his distillery in exchange for Zack Ryder's debt, to which he has no choice but to agree. On the other hand, Deacon goes to Dunmire and says he was sent to kill them by Dwight. He deals with Dunmire and double-crosses Dwight to kill him and his people. He plants a bomb in the hotel where there's a rally for Thresher later that night, and asks Dwight to meet him at a warehouse. Dwight calls in Musso, they both go. Dwight plans to leave Musso and his team far behind and go in alone. Inside the building, Deacon pulls a gun. Dwight quickly turns the table. Mitch and Bigfoot are there with guns. They capture Deacon and torture information out of him that Musso needs, all without him knowing anything. On the other side, Dunmire talks to Cole about how he made sure that some roaches don't check out of their hotel. Cole gets concerned about Spencer and tells her about the hotel. Spencer tells Tyson, who calls Dwight, and Dwight confirms the bomb from Deacon, who's right there. Stuffs Deacon in a coffin, leaves him dead, and calls Musso to get to the hotel. They reach the hotel just in time to inform everyone about the bomb, and everyone survives. Mitch too gets hurt a little bit, but it's nothing, and later Dwight agrees to give all the information he got from Deacon to Musso in exchange for a federal liquor license. On the other side, Quiet Ray is pretty mad, and he sends a professional assassin named Lee to kill Dwight, played by none other than Samuel L. Jackson. I wanted to remind you, we're in episode 9 out of 10 episodes, and they now introduce Samuel Jackson as Lee, a really good character. Like, come on, man. Lee doesn't want to kill Dwight because they go way back. He meets Dwight at his casino, and then later at his house, and says he doesn't want to live an assassin's life anymore. Ray doesn't like that the Lee turned his back, so Ray sends people to kill both of them, which they take out pretty easily, because why wouldn't they? Meanwhile, Tyson is selling drugs with Spencer, which is irrelevant, and I'll cover that later. Nothing much else happened in the episode, and it's a really interesting episode because of the aura farming that Samuel Jackson brings. He steals the show beautifully. Allegedly, they're working on a spin-off, Tulsa King, featuring Samuel Jackson as Lee. Later on, Dunmire kidnaps Joanne, because what else he can do? Dwight gets intel from Cole with a map of their house and guard locations. They strike at night, kill every one of Dunmire's crew, and save Joanne. Dunmire tries to flee, but Dwight catches him, beats him, hangs him, and then lights him on fire. Everyone celebrates with no casualties. Lee says goodbye and moves to another city to start a new life, foreshadowing the spin-off. The show ends without any cliffhangers this time. It's the most action in the whole season, and it was very similar to season 2's finale, where they go in guns blazing and kill everyone without a scratch to kill the Asian guy. Now, the reason I didn't go over Cole in detail earlier, because his character is actually decent for the screen time he gets. He's belittled by his dad in every episode and compared to his dead brother, who was supposedly better. Cole had enough of this shit, so he helps Dwight, plus he likes Spencer. Now with some nitpicks. These are some minor details that show poor writing in my opinion. These don't affect the show on a larger scale, so they mostly can be ignored. Let's start again with the worst character, Tyson. Why are Tyson, Goody, Spencer, and Bodie going on side missions to earn pennies when they already have multiple businesses and a newly acquired $150 million bourbon stash? Why? Bodie, being so smart, hesitates but then gives in to Tyson, who has a shitty track record. I get Tyson's itch to prove himself, but it doesn't add much to the story though. And Bodhi just straight up agreeing for pennies. It just feels like a filler, so these characters get screen time. While Tyson's selling a new stuff in a different club, they get into an argument with the club guards, and can you believe it? Nothing happens. Literally, that's it. They don't even go over it again. My next issue is that why didn't anyone call the hotel staff about the bomb? Or local patrol? Like nothing. If there's supposed to be no consequences, why make it such a big deal though? Everyone except Mitch is basically unscathed. A better way would have been they call the hotel and Mitch helps everyone get out and gets injured while trying to save them. Or while saving Margaret. Same scenario but with bonus points for Mitch's character. Don't you think? Another issue is that why is Deacon, the bomb guy, who's driving an S-Class, dressed in work clothes to blend in? Why did he go to Dunmire when he doesn't know him? It's been established that he doesn't do business with people he doesn't know. I like that twist. But it doesn't explain why he trusted Dunmire so easily. Just because he says he doesn't trust Dwight, that shouldn't mean he trusts Dunmire. Like, that doesn't make sense. Another issue is, why isn't Dwight planning to kill Dunmire straight away? There's no leverage against him. Just because of the morals? Because the show must go on? Or they would need a new villain? Because it would hard to cover up? Because the Dixie Mafia would come after him? None of these hold. Because in the end he kills Dunmire and his crew, which would be even harder to cover up, fighting the whole mansion full of people, right? In the beginning, Tyson makes fun of Bodhi for driving an electric car, but drives a Cybertruck himself. They never talk about Bill again after he gets arrested. Oh, he got arrested, yeah, sucks to be him. Like what? They never try to get him out or find where he is. Why does Margaret think she's popular? She just noticed Thresher isn't good at portraying himself and decides to help him. I get it, she's getting her part of the ranch back and Dwight will have someone that Thresher relies on. It was never established how Margaret knows about politics so much. What's the point of showing Vince at the motel? Cleo wasn't there to help avenge her dad. She was barely in the show after like episode 2 or 3. Someone from Dwight's crew should die. They can't go on for 3 seasons with them always winning without casualties or consequences. The audience will lose interest in stakes if we know who's going to win. Why even bother making a mafia or gangster show? Might as well make it a high school show if no one's getting killed. In conclusion, the show isn't great, but isn't bad either. My advice for you is to turn off your brain. Don't take it too seriously and try to enjoy it. It's not a perfect show by any means, but it's good, it's decent. There should be no excuse for bad writing or direction, regardless of the scale, budget, or platform of the show. I personally liked it better than season 2. It was enjoyable, and I look forward to new episodes every Sunday. It's a decent recommendation for people who like this genre, or better yet, Sylvester. Let me know what you think about this season. Did you like it? If you made it to the end, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to help me out.